Most business owners waste years chasing subscribers, and I was one of those people too. But I built a $6,300 per month income with just 6,700 subs, and today I'm showing you exactly how. No fluff, no viral videos, just a simple system that turns viewers into buyers without needing a massive audience or paid ads. I'll break down the funnels I use, how I built my team, and the exact content strategy that makes it all work. Because if you're still thinking you need 100,000 subs to make real money, then you're following strategies built for influencers, not entrepreneurs who actually want to get paid. But first, if you make this one change, you can save over 20 hours a week and grow your channel 4 times faster. But most business owners never figure this out, which results in a dead YouTube channel that does nothing for their business. In fact, this mistake nearly made me quit YouTube altogether. Because I was sitting at my desk, staring at a half-finished script that looked like garbage when my phone buzzed. "Where are you?" It was a text from my friend James, and my stomach dropped. I looked at the date. Damn, it was his birthday, and I was supposed to be at dinner 30 minutes ago. But there I was, still hunched over my laptop, trying to crank out another video, and it's not even for my own channel, but for a client. One of 5 that I was juggling at the time. I could hear the lights flickering in my apartment, and I could smell that cold, half-eaten pizza on the counter. Meanwhile, my friends were laughing, living, taking photos, and I wasn't even a thought in the room. And here's the worst part. Even after missing the dinner, I didn't post that week, because I was still so busy with client work that my own channel sat there dying. But that night, sitting alone, watching Instagram stories of a party I missed, something cracked. I realized I hadn't built a business, I had built a prison, because I was the bottleneck of everything. If I wasn't personally touching the script, the video editing, and the thumbnail, nothing happened. But because I was stuck doing everything myself, I was trapped in execution mode, and it never gave me the time for the high leverage tasks that actually grew my business. So the next morning, I made a list of everything I touched in the creation process. I circled the tasks that drained me the most, which was thumbnails and the editing. And those were the first 2 things that I outsourced. Was it scary? Hell yeah. But the first week I handed off the editing, I actually managed to post a video. And in the second week, I got a new client because I finally had time to reach out to new clients and make content again. So if you're a business owner trying to grow on YouTube, stop trying to do all of it yourself. You want to outsource the scripting, your editing, and your thumbnails, or your business will stay stuck. So here's my 3-step framework to quickly find high-quality freelancers without wasting weeks on bad hires. So starting with step 1, and most people never even get the chance to hire great people because they're fishing in the wrong ponds. I don't bother with Fiverr because it's packed with freelancers chasing quick gigs, not serious long-term work. And while I've heard some good things, I've also never used Facebook groups or LinkedIn. Instead, I go straight to Upwork, or even better, an underrated platform called onlinejobs.ph. It's hands down one of the best places to find skilled, hungry talent from the Philippines. Now, you do have to pay to post a job, but if you're serious about building a real team, it's a no-brainer investment, which takes us to step 2, and the biggest hiring mistake is spending hours on interviews with people who sound good but can't actually deliver. So a quick story. When I was hiring a video editor, I saw a guy claim that he edited a Nate Wealth video that got over 200,000 views. So I thought that I hit the jackpot. But after working with this guy, it was obvious that he had nothing to do with that video because the work that he gave me was nothing like he promised. People lie in their portfolios all the time, so now I don't even look at portfolios. I send a quick 10 to 15 minute test task to everyone that applies. There's no interviews, no resumes, just real work that instantly filters the fakers from the real talent, which takes us to step 3. And I've personally made the mistake of panic hiring after one good test task and then regret it 2 weeks later. Because even after the first test task, you want to run another test just to make sure they're good. Once you've got a few solid candidates, you want to pay your top 2 to 3 for a real trial project, but it should be the same work that they'd actually be doing if you hire them full time. And this gives you a real look at how they communicate, how fast they move, and how clean their work is. And during this trial period, you begin to get a good idea on who you prefer working with. So just pick the best one, or if they all crush it, then just hire all of them, and now you have a solid team. But I know what you're thinking. I've tried to hire help, and it never works out because no one ever gets it right. Well, here's the shortcut. Instead of gambling on new hires, why not work with a team that's already proven it in their own business and for a bunch of their clients? You don't have to waste time training freelancers or figuring out the YouTube algorithm yourself. So you can just make more sales without spending more than 3 hours per month making YouTube videos. Check it out, link in the description if you're ready to get started. But for the brave ones who prefer to go at it alone, here's my advice. Because most business owners never figure out how to get the help they need, so they stay trapped doing everything themselves or overpaying for mediocre work. But what if I told you that with this one simple hiring hack, you can actually hire better talent for cheaper? And I learned this lesson the hard way. So my client needed the first draft by 9 a.m. the next morning, and I remember sitting at my desk the night before, feeling for the first time in months relaxed. I had finally outsourced the scripting, and my new writer said she understood exactly what I wanted. So when her Slack notification hit my phone at 7 p.m., I almost didn't open the Google Doc because I figured, finally, this will be easy. Wrong. The second I opened the doc, my stomach dropped because it was, for lack of a better word, just completely garbage. It read like a bad college essay, and not a single line I could salvage. So I checked the clock, and it was 7:04 p.m., and my hands went cold because there was no way I could send this over to the client, not even close. But if I missed this deadline, I wouldn't just lose the project. I'd destroy my shot at locking in a $3,000 per month retainer deal that they were ready to offer if the first video went well. So for about 30 seconds, I sat there blaming her. Why can't people just get it? Then boom. I locked in, I cracked my knuckles, I opened a blank doc and started from scratch. But what was supposed to be a 20-minute polish turned into a 6-hour marathon because I rewrote every word and poured everything I had into it because there was no other option. And at 3:26 a.m., I finally submitted the script, and the next morning, the client loved it. He called it perfect, actually. But instead of feeling proud, I felt this low, burning pit in my gut. Because deep down, I knew the truth. This was not a scalable business. Because I hadn't hired a bad writer, I had built a broken system. I handed my freelancer nothing but vague vibes, and I expected her to read my mind. But if you're a business owner, you need to create step-by-step systems that your team can follow. Because every freelancer you hire will never do it exactly how you want. And that's normal. But even if you find a rare A player who gets it, if they leave, then you're screwed unless you have a simple bulletproof system that anybody can follow. So here's my 3-step framework to build simple bulletproof SOPs that actually get your team doing things right without you micromanaging. But starting with step 1, and most people's systems are a joke. They throw their team a 3-bullet checklist and wonder why everything gets butchered. So the fix for that is to write down every single micro action that you take to complete the task, no matter how small it seems. Don't just say upload the video, show how you name the files, where you click, what settings you use, and it has to be so easy that even your mom could do it. But step 2 makes it even better, because when I first started making SOPs, my documents would be way too long, and I noticed that many of the team members weren't following my instructions properly. They were either getting overwhelmed with information, or they straight up just weren't even reading them. So instead of dumping a giant document nobody reads, record a Loom video where you walk through the exact steps while actually doing the task yourself and explain the thought process as you go. Even then, expect your first hires to screw it up, but remember that it's not their fault. If they mess up, it's because your SOP sucks. So every time someone makes a mistake, update your document or video to include the fix. But even the best SOP can't make up for lack of experience. That's why for step 3, I don't just hand my team instructions, I build tools that they can use. For my business, I have quality control checklists, AI prompts, and even custom GPTs for specific tasks. Because a guide still requires judgment, but a tool removes judgment altogether and makes it so that anyone can execute at a high level. They literally just click a button and the job gets done. And this makes it so that you don't have to micromanage everything your team does. But imagine setting up one simple system in your funnel and having it quietly drive booked calls and sales on autopilot day after day. Well, most business owners never build this piece right, which is why they stay stuck chasing leads manually. But once you have it in place, your funnel can start doing the heavy lifting for you without you having to grind for every single sale. So how does it work? Well, according to Google's 7-11-4 rule, a customer needs 7 hours of exposure, 11 touch points, and 4 different locations before they trust you enough to buy. But most business owners post on YouTube and stop there. And that's why their funnel leaks, because YouTube alone can't cover all 4 locations. So what you need is multiple platforms working together. In my business, for example, YouTube is 1, my email list is 2, my landing page with my VSL is 3, and if my viewers book a free strategy call with me, or my team, that's the 4th location. Now people think that email is dead, that nobody checks their email anymore, but if you don't have an email list, you're missing one of the most powerful and direct touch points in the buying journey. In fact, email newsletters consistently drive the highest ROI across all digital marketing, which is $36 for every $1 spent. So if you want to close more clients and not just entertain viewers, you must run an email newsletter alongside your YouTube channel. But the cool thing about email is you can set it up once and have it run on autopilot forever, printing you money in the process. So here's my 5-step framework to build an automated email sequence that actually sells without spamming or begging. But to begin with step 1, and most people throw up a generic freebie and wonder why nobody signs up. So instead I offer something hyper-specific and immediately useful, like my ChatGPT hook prompt. Link in the description, by the way, if you want to check it out. But for individual videos, sometimes I even create custom lead magnets to match the topic. The more targeted the lead magnet for that individual video, the higher your opt-in rate, which leads to step 2. And everyone says you're supposed to start with a soap opera sequence or some long warm-up campaign, but from working with clients and building my own list, I've seen that selling straight away in the first 4 emails gets way better results. You're fresh in their minds, so hit them with the offer while the window's still open. And then that's when you're able to move into step 3, because after the first selling push, it's time to pull back a little bit. And it is here where I send 4 emails purely focused on my philosophy with no selling. This is the getting to know you warm-up sequence. I give them value and point them to videos on my channel, and this builds real trust and sets up future sales without burning out the list with spammy promotion emails. Which takes us to step 4, and once my email subscribers know me better, I launch a second 6-email offer sequence, and now the pitch hits way harder because my getting to know you sequence warmed them up to my offer. Now still, they may not buy at this point, but that's okay, because once the 6 email promo sequence is done, we go into step 5 where they join my weekly newsletter. And here I send real actionable content, and each email ends with a soft link to my offer, but the focus is always on helping the reader first. That's why I consistently keep over a 40% open rate, because the emails are worth reading, not just deleting. Now earlier I mentioned that you need proven systems for your team to follow, but you can't build a proven system if you don't know how to make good YouTube videos in the first place. So watch this video next to learn how to write a killer YouTube script that's actually designed to convert viewers into buyers. This is what I wish I had when I first started out on YouTube.